I discovered something very interesting the other day. The only reason that Donald Trump ever became president or ever has a chance of becoming president again is because men are misogynists. That's it. That's the only reason. American men hate women and American women also hate women, particularly white women. They definitely hate women. And of course, all of this means that people who happen to be a different color than white definitely don't vote for Trump. The strangest part of all of that is women hating themselves. I don't know why they would be misogynistic towards themselves. But anyway, I direct your attention to this article. This is a misogyny emergency. A huge outpouring is coming in the run-up to the US election by Carolyn Kalwalder. Now, I don't think this is too outrageous to say, but usually if you're going to use the misogynist argument or play the gender card, usually your argument is, well, shit. But let's see what old Carol has to say. Maybe she is spot on. This time, Kamala Harris will be the target of the social media platforms that promote prejudice. Of course, people will just take issue with Kamala Harris because of her skin color and her gender. It's got nothing to do with her policies at all. What are her policies? What are her policies? Can anyone answer that? Now, I know that Trump got in a lot of trouble just, last week when he said that Kamala apparently only just came out as black. But if you go back to 2016, that is, well, she wasn't black then, she was Indian.
Our collective community, and there needs to be outreach and inclusion.
And certainly you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Knock wood.
And now she's black. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people don't like Trump, but having a crack at him, being angry at him for saying that, he's just being accurate. And let me just say this, be very clear with you all. I'm not a Trump guy, I'm not a MAGA guy, I don't know enough about their policies, and I'm guessing you don't either. But what I do know is whatever the Democrats are up to at the moment, whatever's happening to their party, it's a mess. Harris, Biden, Gavin Newsom, who led California into a toxic wasteland. I'm not about you guys. I'm not about you guys at all. Your gender ideology, your ridiculous hatred of white men, the whole thing is just crazy. And not to mention blocking RFK from getting anywhere near the nominee for the Democratic Party, that's a whole nother thing. Whatever you guys are up to on the left side of American politics, you guys are fucked. And I've spent a fair bit of time in America now. I don't think you guys represent what real America is about. And then you got Trump standing there, shot in the ears, underneath the American flag. I'm not even a citizen and I wanted to vote for him. All in all, if you compare Trump and Harris and the Democrats and the Republicans, I still do think, and I've said this for a long time, an independent would be much better because they don't have all these political biases and leanings that these big parties happen to have. They're not controlled by corporations, all right? And let's all remember right now, we do not live in a democracy, we live in an oligarchy, okay? It doesn't matter where you are in the first world. It's not a democracy. The United States, the UK, Australia, anywhere in the first world, you have your figureheads and you think they are the ones that run it, but it's the deep state. We all know this. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is reality. But sure, let's not worry about any of that. Let's focus all of our attention on a person with too much testosterone fighting women in the Olympics. That's much better. Yes, that will help us all. Oh, and also I didn't know where to add this in the video, but apparently race, gender, and age will determine Kamala Harris's running mate. Yeah, not the best person for the job, but the one that ticks the most boxes. In what world is that appropriate for someone going to lead the free world? Okay. Back to Caroline or Carol or whatever the fuck her name is. Take it away, babe. In 2016, a historically unprecedented event took place, and yet barely anyone even noticed. Even years later, we've failed to acknowledge it or even have begun the process of understanding it because we can't even see it. What she's talking about here is Trump beating Hillary Clinton in 2016. That's what she's going to get to. And that is because the incident involved a woman, and she was asking for it. Okay, Caroline, Carol, whatever your fucking name is. Okay, go on. The woman was Hillary Clinton and she was asking for votes. And what she got was the single biggest outpouring of misogyny in human history. Yes, it's because she's a woman. That's why she got a lot of hate. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that she has, I don't want to fucking say things that'll get me killed here, skeletons in the closet, perhaps. Or I'm joking. I'm totally joking. She's a very good person. A lovely person. Come on, she was one of the worst candidates of all time. This is not misogyny here. This is people being fucking normal. She has horrific rumors about her. Her husband's a huge piece of shit. You think that Trump treats women badly? Look at fucking Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill. He's the original fucking dirtbag. And in 2016, Caroline Carroll goes on to say that it's all about social media. This is where all this misogyny came from. And the result was an earthquake. Donald Trump. Now, if you go back to 2016, if you remember it at all, Trump was laughed at when he said he was going to be the president. People thought it was a big joke. And he did it. He played the game. He beat the media. And was misogyny involved? Maybe a little bit, but to say that it was only misogyny that got him the win in 2016 is being absolutely ridiculous. And you're not being honest with yourself. You're lying. You are lying to you idiot. In some respects, maybe Trump went too far, and maybe his supporters went too far, but I guarantee the Democrats did the exact same thing. All is fair in love and politics, after all. But 8 years on, we haven't even begun to understand that lesson. We didn't listen to Hillary. Yeah, we didn't listen to her because we don't have cash. We don't have big cash. What am I talking about? Leading up to the 2016 election, $153 million was paid to Bill and Hillary Clinton in speaking fees. They are documented numbers, apparently, allegedly. All right? Now, who were these speeches to, may you ask? Well, mainly big banks, big corporations, the powers that be. The two also reported at least $7.7 million for at least 39 speeches to big banks, including Goldman Sachs and UBS, with Clinton, the Democratic 2016 frontrunner, collecting at least $1.8 million for at least 8 speeches to big banks. Yeah, that's who you want in control of the world. Someone who is bought out by banks. But if you say that, you're a misogynist. So welcome to the clan. It's nice to have you here. There's plenty of room. There's drinks. Enjoy. We haven't yet realised that misogyny is one of the most dangerous weapons on earth. The best friend of authoritarians and oligarchs. The handmaiden of tyrants. Yeah, all right. So it wasn't misogyny when the Democrats labelled Tulsi Gabbard a asset of the Russians. That wasn't misogyny at all. Or was that just politics? Okay. Is it misogyny if it just affects a woman? Or is it just politics? Because if you attack a man, that's cool, that's fine. But if it's a woman, it's not okay. That's a bit silly, don't you think? If you want to fucking go to war with the big heads in power, if you want to take on the president, if you want to become president, if you want to fight in politics, you're going to have shit thrown at you. And if you can't deal with that, fucking get a different job. Networked misogyny across multiple global platforms that will earn their tech bro owners billions upon billions of dollars. That's what's going to decide the 2024 election. I'm sure she's talking about Elon Musk there. It's nice to be a victim, isn't it, love? You all right? Are you okay? And it's misogyny that's going to dictate the future of NATO, okay? The outcome of the Ukraine war and whether we have peace in Europe or more war. And because this is going to be a firehouse that will be directed at a single woman, Kamala Harris, it will be misogyny multiplied. Misogyny plus racism, the most toxic combination of all. I'd just like to suggest that there are several reasons that people don't like Kamala Harris. Some people don't like her because she's not Trump and they love Trump. Okay? But there's other reasons. There's plenty of reasons. Some of the reasons are her, some are her supporters. And now I'd like to show you some of these reasons.
This is a message for every single person who looks like me. Specifically, white women. It's time. This is no longer about politics, and you get to right your wrongs of 2016, when you didn't put a woman in the White House who was overly qualified. Now's your chance.
This is TikTok at the moment. Post after post demanding that white women finally let women into the White House because it's your fault in 2016 that Trump got in. It's your fault, white ladies, you pieces of shit.
You did not stand behind black women, people of color, immigrant families, differently abled people. None of them. You said, I matter more than you in 2016. Not anymore.
Personally, I do think I matter more than everybody else. Just putting that out there. My family, anyway. I don't give a shit about yours or anyone else's. And I think that's probably a good thing. I think we should all be a little bit more like that. The whole Jordan Peterson attitude of clean your room, sort out your own shit before you worry about the rest of the world's.
This is no longer about red versus blue. This is our lives that we are playing with. And the piece that you have control over is who you vote for in November. You need to find a spine to stand up against the white men in your life who are telling you who should be your president.
Is it not misogynistic to say that women are only voting or thinking one way because they're being told to think that way? That's a bit offensive.
But I am so ready because I know for a fact that I would rather live in a season of Veep than a season of...
So The Handmaid's Tale. She doesn't want to live in The Handmaid's Tale. If you don't know, The Handmaid's Tale is a fictional story where women are treated like shit and they're basically just there to have babies and whatnot. You know, that's what the world would be like if Donald Trump was president. Just like exactly how the world was from 2016 to 2020. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't. He was president and none of that happened.
Who are married to Republican men, specifically men who will vote for Trump in November. You don't have to vote for who he tells you to vote for. My first piece of advice would be get a divorce. But if you don't want to do that, just remember, you get to vote for who you want to vote for. You get to go into that voting booth all by yourself.
Are you talking to women here or children? You're speaking down to people. I don't know, it just doesn't excite me politically. Maybe I'm weird though.
I'm out of the country if Trump wins. We will be on the list for sure. Intelligent people, LGBTQ people, and lots of people will end up unalived. Scientists will stop working because they will be targeted.
That's fucking. But what about the woman at the top? What about Kamala Harris? Ooh.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome these leaders for coming in to have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit.
Yeah, that's who you want meeting with Putin. That's who you want. That's who you want meeting with Kim Jong-un. That's who you want. Right there. Her. Yeah, that'd be good.
Phenomenon. You know it. Indeed, I do. Phenomenon.
Yes. Very presidential indeed. But I guess this is all nitpicking. All right, these are just silly little attacks. Let's go on what she's done in the past. Let's go on what she's done to prisoners, mainly black people. Let's have a little look, shall we?
That is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Ooh.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so.
Interesting.
She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
That's terrible.
And she fought to keep cash bail system in place. That impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
What a lovely person. Okay, so here's how I wrap this video up. Okay, you ready? Just because you don't vote for Kamala Harris, it doesn't mean you're a misogynist. It just means you have a brain. The end.